Welcome to Parent, your weekly parenting boost and answering some of your parenting questions, brought to you by BINA. This week we have a great question. My sons aged 5 and 3 constantly bicker about tiny things like toys. It means I spend a lot of time being referee, which is draining. If they played nicely together, it would be so much less exhausting. Can you advise how to get them to get along better? That's a great question. It's a great question because I must tell you that I struggle with this question too. One of the areas of parenting that I find most challenging is dealing with sibling rivalry of little young children. And I've come over the years to the conclusion that sibling rivalry is more of a problem for the parent than it is for the children. Parents sort of seem to really get anxious about little kids bickering with each other, while the kids seem to get over it very, very quickly. That's a hard one to handle. It's a long topic. There are some good books. One that I could perhaps mention that you might want to read is Siblings Without Rivalry by Adele Farber and Elaine Maislish. But let me just share with you a couple of pointers. The first is that it's useless trying to be referee. You cannot judge between two people, no matter what age they are, if you haven't seen what happened. Because you're always going to get it wrong and someone's always going to be really upset. So if you didn't see what happened, you can't really say who's right. And you just have to say, more generally, I just don't like when you fight. You two need to stop fighting and share between yourselves a lot better. One of the ways to deal with it is when kids come to you, and young kids, and they're really, really fighting, perhaps at that time is to say, look, I don't know what happened, but you're fighting. Fighting is not good. I'm just going to separate you. Each of you go to your room now for 2 minutes, or two separate places for 2 minutes. If they get used to the fact that every time they come to you fighting, they get separated, and they have to go for quiet time, and they both end up not playing for a while, they'll just get the message that fighting is not worth it, and then maybe that will bring to less fighting. And the other thing is, what you need to do is, at times when they're not playing or they're not fighting, prepare, plan, bring them together and role model sharing. So bring out a toy and role model the one sharing it with his brother or the other one giving it to his brother, and create scenarios where they can learn in their own little young way to compromise. Teach them the skills of sharing. They won't get it right away as very young children, but eventually they'll learn to do it. I think the main thing is not to stress out. Express that fighting is not a good thing, but don't stress out. Little children do tend to fight with each other. When adults are fighting with each other, that's really a serious problem. But I think it's part of growing up when little children do bicker with each other. Don't be the judge and referee. Deal with it as best you can. Don't stress out, and teach them skills for sharing. Have a great week.